Hello yogis, and this is going to be a tutorial video to introduce you to Kapalabhati, also sometimes referred to as the skull illuminating breath when done in a certain sequence, or fierce breath when simply done on its own. And this is one of the techniques that is both a pranayama, so a breath exercise where we're learning once more to restrain or control the breath in order to relinquish control and allow that pranic energy to flow in its natural state. So it's a pranayama, but it's also considered a kriya. And in another video, I'm going to go over more specifically defining what kriyas are. But essentially, it's aiding and supporting the idea of allowing your body to function. It's at its best. It's helping to eliminate the body of toxins or the mind of excess chitta or monkey mind. And specifically to Kapalabhati breath, the benefits are that it helps to really recharge the body systems and also the energetic systems. It helps to eliminate excess carbon dioxide and toxins from the body and the blood. It also helps to clear nasal pathways. Now, this is a technique that should not be done if pregnant, if there's been recent abdominal surgery, or high blood pressure. Maybe be cautionary if you are on your cycle, but that's not an absolute. But definitely if you've had abdominal surgery or pregnancy, this is a practice that you don't want to be doing or advocating for your students. However, as long as you're clear in those regards, in those conditions, let us begin the technique. So this technique is done. We're going to learn it as Kapalabhati, so we're going to learn the sequence of it that allows you to get that skull illuminating effect. And I'll also just show you what the fierce breath more portion of it is. Essentially, I liked how Yoganand, when I learned from him, taught it the idea of you want to keep the bats out of the cave. So when you get to the fierce breath portion of it, which is sort of this abdominal contraction, it's this efforting out and a passive inhalation. So essentially the bats want to fly out of the cave, or the boogers, and you don't want to inhale them back in. You don't want to draw them back in. So it's a very passive inhale and an active exhale. So in preparation for this, you might want to have your students have tissues on hand or just below the nose very gently, either before or after the practice itself. So essentially, we're going to engage with the bandhas. We're going to engage with our full yogic breath as well. And then we're going to add on the fierce breath, which is that pumping action. Again, it's an active exhalation, a passive inhalation. So let me just adjust my screen so you can get a little better sense of what's happening in the abdominal region. And this isn't something that it's more felt in the lower abdominal region as a pumping, versus sometimes I see people get all tense up in their throat or their shoulders. So the body can be relaxed as you just kind of pump the belly. Now, right now I'm pumping my belly without actually tying it in, synchronizing it in with my breath. That can be another Kriya practice that we're going to get into later on. So it looks like this, an active exhale and a passive inhale. So I'm pumping, I'm pushing the breath out. I'm engaging, I'm contracting the diaphragm, I'm lifting it up, and then I'm relaxing, and the inhale just happens. So I'm not forcefully inhaling, I'm focusing on the exhale. The reason you want to do that is because you don't want to cause hyperventilation. So we don't want to be focusing on the inhale. Just let the inhale come naturally by relaxing the abdominals, which will naturally pull the air in, okay? So the full Kapalbhati breath, so what I just demonstrated was the fierce breath portion. Well, let's practice the full Kapalbhati breath. Essentially, we're sitting up nice and tall. We're going to engage in 3 rounds of our full yogic breath. So that's where we fill the belly, fill the rib cage and the chest all the way to the top. You suspend at the top. And as we suspend, we're engaging that Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha. So we hold, and then as we exhale, we relax and empty the breath all the way out. On the 3rd round of that, as we inhale and suspend, as we exhale about halfway and then begin the pumps. And for today, let's just try for 20 pumps. And then gradually, when you deepen the practice, you can increase the amount of fierce breaths pumps in the Kapalbhati sequencing. So it can go all the way up to 120 pumps, whatever your body will allow you to try. But for introducing this practice, let's just try the 20 pumps. After that 20th fierce breath pump, we push all the breath out, squeeze the navel center all the way back, and then relax, and then begin again that full yogic breath all the way in. And we'll do 3 complete rounds. So let's begin. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders above hips, ears above your shoulders. You can close your eyes or simply focus on one spot in the room. Just take some regular breaths, breathing in and out naturally without changing anything. Just get a sense of where you're beginning. We're about to embark on a practice that helps to cleanse the entire body systems. It has also helped to shine radiance and health. Remember not to force the inhalation, but just to let it happen naturally as you relax your abdominals and the air is naturally pulled in. Keep the bats out of the cave. So on your next inhale, I invite you to breathe deeply down into the lower abdominal wall. Let the breath travel up into the ribs once the belly is full. And once the rib cage swells as full as it can, continue to breathe all the way up into the base of the throat, the clavicles, suspending the breath at the top, holding as you engage that Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Holding the breath in as you relax the body around the breath, soften what you can. And then relax the bandhas to exhale deeply from the chest, through the ribs, deep into the belly, scooping the belly back, lifting the Mula Bandha up. And again, inhaling, relax the belly so the belly can swell. Sip in more air to the rib cage, let the ribs widen and filling all the way up into the clavicles, the throat. Suspending at the top as you engage Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Soften what you can as the crown reaches, as the sits bones settle into the earth. And relax the bandhas to exhale completely from the clavicles down to the belly. This is our 3rd round, and as we exhale about halfway, we're going to begin our pumps. Inhaling deeply, all the way up, filling yourself in that full yogic breath or Durga breath. Once more, suspending at the top. Preparing yourself for beginning the pumps. So let's exhale halfway and then start to begin 20 pumps. Exhale the breath all the way out. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze while remaining upright and tall. Relax the belly so you can draw breath in deeply. All the way up. Full yogic breath. Engage and suspend the Mahabandhas, all three together. Exhaling deeply as you relax the bandhas, taking this at your own pace. You might be ahead, you might be behind. Listen to your own timing. Remember not to force that inhale as we move into the fierce breath portion. Well, let's take 2 more full yogic breaths. Inhale deeply all the way up. And as you suspend the breath, it can be anywhere from a few seconds to up to 2 minutes as you increase this practice, as you do it more and more, the longer you'll be able to suspend. And we'll just suspend for a moment. Once we get to the top, sense the prana energy moving inside, softening tension in the throat, the jaw, softening tension in the shoulders, exhaling all the way out. One more round of full yogic breath. Inhale. Suspending. Softening around that suspension so you can allow that energy to move around inside without being stuck. This time as we exhale, exhale halfway to begin the pumps again. Exhaling and begin 20 rounds of active contractions, active exhalations, passive inhales. Exhale the breath all the way out. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And relax the abdominals so we can draw that breath in. 3 rounds. A full yogic breath. Inhale all the way up. Exhale. Taking your time. Inhale when the next breath needs to be drawn in, filling all the way up, suspending at the top once you arrive there. Exhaling. And on this last round, once more, when we exhale about halfway, we'll begin the pumps. So inhale, fill all the way up. Take your time. Let the breath move all the way in. Soften in the shoulders. Sense the tips of the scapula dripping towards the sits bones, front and back body. Soften, but strong. And as we exhale, once more, exhale halfway and begin the pumps. Exhale the breath all the way out. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze while keeping your height, keeping that softness around that inner strength. Relax the belly so we can inhale. Fill all the way up and hold the breath as long as you like. You can press the back of the tongue on the roof of the mouth and just suspend in that fullness. Once more softening where you need to allow that pranic energy to move freely inside. And when you need to exhale, just return to your natural breath. Taking a few moments to thank yourself for trying out this pranayama, also Kriya, a purification technique, Kapalbhati, skull illuminating breath, or also combined with fierce breath. Just simply notice the effects from your effort. Thank you.